Hi, I'm Matt Chouinard with Delta Waterfowl here with another migration update. It's late October and things are getting cold. Ducks are starting to move across the country and across Canada as well. Let's start off with a couple of updates from up in Canada.
We are in the middle of a classic Western Canada winter storm. This has been presenting some interesting opportunities for us all throughout the migration this year. It's made harvest very unpredictable, and it's also made the birds very unpredictable. There's been a lot of moisture. They've had a lot of places to go. But on the bright side, it's kept a lot of smaller birds around longer. The teal stayed for quite a bit longer this year, and the snow geese are still around now. And it also started to push those big Arctic migrators down. So we had a pretty abundant opportunity. Unfortunately, this storm is bringing a cold front with it, which is going to mean that the water opportunity is going to pretty quickly vanish this week. So silver lining, the big Arctic migrators are here. They're starting to look really nice as far as green heads and stuff like that goes. So if you can get out into the field, there's going to be plenty of opportunity there, and happy hunting.
Good morning, John Clemens, Regional Director at Delta Waterfowl, Atlantic and Eastern Canada. So far, the migration report from down here over the update would say that there's been a good fall. Lots of geese, some black ducks pushing through. Green-winged teal numbers are pretty high all across this part of the region. So it's a beautiful day here in Prince Edward Island this morning, and everybody hoping to get some more bad weather come through to give another push of birds on. Overall, it's been a good to very good hunt so far, especially, as I said, with Canada geese and black duck numbers, which is our staple duck down here. They're looking to be to get another push on those and have a really good finish to the season. Thanks, and have a great day from Prince Edward Island.
Thanks, guys. Well, it sounds like things are getting cold and birds are really on the move. Now let's hear an update from right here in North Dakota from Ben.
Hey guys, up here in central North Dakota, it's getting cold and it's getting cold fast. We've seen a big push of birds come down from Canada, but I'm not sure how long they'll stick around as we're seeing lows in the teens and water's going to freeze up fast. Zian and I were able to find a few birds this morning on some water that hadn't quite froze yet due to the wind. Last night we had lows in the teens, and I think it's going to lock our water up really fast. Some of the bigger water might stay open, and that's where you're going to find the birds. But we're going to be definitely sending a lot of birds south this week and next week. The biggest issue we've been running into is the amount of water still on the landscape up here and farmers not being able to get their crops off. So most guys are still working on beans, but there really is not much corn off, so they may push right through down into South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas. I would expect a big push of birds very soon for you guys down south.
Thanks, Ben. Now let's hear what's happening further south in the Mississippi and Central Flyways with a report from Garrett.
Hey guys, got you a quick migration update from Missouri and Kansas. As you can see, me and one of our Delta Waterfowl volunteers had a good green wing shoot today. We scouted this pool yesterday and there was a really good mix of early migrants, shovelers, widgeon, gadwall, a few green wing teal. Came out here this morning, 26 degrees, a little bit of skim ice around the edges, and we've seen about 90% mallards, divers, and some big bunches of green wings. We got back in here where they're feeding on this new vegetation that just got flooded, and it was a great hunt. That's going to be key going into the next week. We're going to start freezing up a little bit in these marshes. It's going to move these birds around. You're going to have to scout. You're going to have to be where they want to be. That's going to be the key going into the next couple weeks. Over in Missouri, the youth zones and middle zone and north zone, the youth hunts went great last week. Kids had a great time. Lots of early season migrants, shovelers, teal, still some blue-winged teal around. Those might have blown out with this cooler weather that we're getting though. Going into next week, north zone's opening up. The week after that, middle zone. It looks like we're stacking up some good fronts going through the Dakotas. North and South Dakota are going to start freezing up. There's a lot of sheet water up there, and I think that'll move a lot of birds down for us. So if you get the opportunity, get out in the field, try to get somebody else that's never been duck hunting out there. It's a lot of fun, guys. Y'all be safe.
Thanks, Garrett. Now let's hear what's happening in the Atlantic and Pacific Flyways with reports from Kyle and Jeff.
Here in the West, conditions vary greatly from state to state, as you might imagine, being the last week of October. It's hard to believe that just 2 weekends ago in California, the last of their seasons opened up, with hunters finding great numbers of specklebellies and ducks as they got afield, as well as perfect weather. Over the last 9 days, they've had wonderful hunting conditions, and they remain optimistic as they move towards what they call Slowvember. Just north of them, along the coast of Oregon, hunters are seeing great numbers of diving ducks, mallards and widgeon, as well as Aleutian and cackler geese. Then as you move further east into Idaho, Utah, and Nevada, we're experiencing an Arctic cold front during this last week of October like we've never seen before. Low temperature records are dropping daily as we are experiencing temperatures in the low teens and all the way down into single digits, freezing our marshes, as you can see behind me here, way earlier than we're used to, presenting challenges for hunters in these states that we're not used to seeing until later in December. We wish everyone the best as they get afield during the next few weeks, chasing the ducks and geese that you enjoy so much.
In the mid-Atlantic states, temperatures are dipping at or below the freezing point overnight, and that's resulted in our first good push of early season migrators. I've been seeing a lot of gadwalls, a few pintails, and I really think that even a few more mallards have started to show up, though they have not today. An interesting thing in scouting is that I've seen ducks hitting dry cut cornfields a lot earlier in the season than I would expect. I see that when the temperatures have really dropped and they're much more desperate for carbohydrates, but something to keep in mind when you're scouting and hunting.
Thanks for the great updates. Well, it sounds like ducks are really on the move, and there's a good chance there'll be some in your neck of the woods. Get out there hunting, and good luck when you do. Stay tuned to Delta Waterfowl for our next migration update.